David Brown with KUT, and we are at ACL Fest 2012 with Josh Tillman, aka Father John Misty. Thanks so much for coming down and doing this before your set.
Oh, my pleasure.
Been a long night for you, I gather. You were up late playing a
Yeah,
show downtown.
yeah. I played. That must have been 100 years ago at this point. Yeah.
Speaking of a long time ago, I was reading some of the interviews that you've done recently with after the release of your latest album, Fear Fun, and I was noticing how everyone wants to talk about Fleet Foxes in context of what you're doing now. But it seems to me that based on your career, you've actually been a solo artist a lot more of your career, and the Fleet Foxes thing sort of seems to have been a passing thing. Why so much attention, do you think, on?
Generally because the lowest common denominator talking point is generally what I mean. I could put together a list of things that people say to me over and over and over again that exceeds far beyond just the Fleet Foxes talking point. I don't know. I'm not.
Why do you call yourself Father John Misty and stuff
Yeah,
like that?
people go. I guess one that people think is really clever is they start interviews with like, now should I call you father or should I call you Josh or Jay or I don't know, and everyone does that. Yeah, I mean, there are probably about 25 or 30 things that everyone says to me. I don't know. The answer to that question is more for like a like I don't know, a sociologist or something.
But you sort of strike me as at least as much of a sort of sociologist or an anthropologist as a
Ah,
musician.
maybe an anthropologist
Yeah,
of myself or something.
really. But you do seem to be sort of at least as much into words and lyricism and that kind of thing as you are into actual music. Or am I wrong about that?
Well, I don't quite. Um, I don't quite. Like with songwriting, I don't like put words in one category and the music in another category. Like songs are. It's like a very singular creative act, and when you start
Breaking it apart.
breaking in, yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't. I mean that's
That's fair enough, but
yeah, yeah.
let me ask it another way. It seems
I
like
don't another way of putting it is like I'm not sure that I really know how to how to even consider the act of writing songs without some uh, major emphasis placed on the lyrics.
so you're not going to be writing any instrumentals or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I just did a soundtrack which was interesting
For a
but
movie?
yeah, for a friend of mine, but yeah, I mean, I guess yeah, maybe more of a word guy, but like when you're writing songs, like it's funny how the right words will like pull a melody out from you, and sometimes how like a melody will pull certain words out, but it all works in concert,
Yeah.
with one another.
Well, I mean, one of the reasons I was mentioning that was because it seems like you could just as easily write a book about your experiences in a way. You ever thought
Yeah.
about that?
I did write a book. It's in the album. Uh, Comes on two gigantic posters. Yeah, I wrote a novel right around the time I made this album.
Well, one of the
Yeah.
songs that I think really has a powerful narrative, especially for anyone who's lived out in LA, is Hollywood Forever Cemetery Sings.
Yes.
And we've been getting a lot of calls for it.
Yeah.
Any chance we could talk you into playing it?
Oh, I can't say no to you.
Father John Misty on KUT.
Jesus Christ, girl, what are people gonna think when I show up to one of several funerals I've attended for Grandpa this week. With you, with me. But someone's gotta help me dig. Oh, someone's gotta help me dig. Jesus Christ, girl, hasn't been long, so it seems, since I was picking out an island and a tomb for you at the Hollywood Cemetery. You kissed on me. We should let this dead guy sleep. Yeah, really, we should let this dead guy sleep. Jesus Christ, girl, I laid up 4 hours in a daze, retracing the expanse of your American back. Adderall and weed in my veins. You came, I think, 'cause the marble made my cheeks look pink. Oh, but I'm unsure of so many things. Oh, but someone's gotta help me dig. Someone's gotta help me dig. Oh, someone's gotta help me dig.
Father John Misty on KUT. We're backstage at ACL Fest 2012. That was fantastic, man.
Oh, I'm surprised that sound came out of my mouth.
I have
honest
to I have
with
to
you.
be honest with you. Your voice sounds fantastic, especially at this early hour and coming off of a show last night. Somebody was telling me that went to your show last night. Unfortunately I went to bed rather early.
Yeah.
But they said that you have a great sense of humor, and if you listen closely to those lyrics,
Yeah.
there actually is a lot of humor in a dark song.
You
like
don't
that.
have to listen too closely to hear the slow-moving gags in those songs. Yeah.
But it seems like you've sort of touched on something that's lost on a lot of people, and that's the
Right.
fact that there's a kind of darkness even in humor.
Yeah. Yes. I've always seen it that way, but that's kind of part of the reason why why I think in general I kind of avoided any kind of humorous element to my writing before, because I'm acutely aware of the way that people marginalize humor, and
Be funny, be funny.
yeah, just sort of like I think people attribute a certain like happy-go-lucky kind of characteristic to the implementation of humor, but
Were you an Andy Kaufman fan by any wild chance?
yeah, absolutely. But putting humor in song, it's like a souffle. It's like it's a very volatile process, and if one thing is off, you've got a mess. a true mess. So I don't know. I'm glad that, I mean, I've been writing songs for a long time, and I think, some I just did it long enough where at some point I finally got some sense of like, and I didn't do it just to do it because I had some idea that was like, it would be great if I was funnier in my songs, but I I went through some like major reevaluation about like why I write and what I write, and
You mean like within the
et
last
cetera.
couple of years?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I think when I really kind of committed myself to writing in my own voice, my own conversational voice, instead of the how dark the night, how white the rose kind of shit, um, then humor just started. Like my sense of humor just started coming out.
But why in the first place would you want to write How Dark the Night? I mean, what is the where is there
Well,
kind
just
of a
because I mean, like, because there's that stuff is good too. I mean, there's a lot of room for that. I mean, but I was, I mean, I don't see, I see a thread of continuity between those songs. Like those, my earlier material was, yeah, like, was a to the best of my abilities about like truth and about truth,
Right, right.
mostly emotional truth. But what I what I hadn't gotten to yet is that my inclination is after locating and exposing those truths, then I laugh. But that's like my natural reaction to like some kind of radical encounter with truth. Um, but yeah, so really, I'm just kind of taking that same genetic material or whatever that was in my songs before, and just going one step further and like and laughing at it.
We're talking with Josh Tillman, who is perhaps better known by his performing name, Father John Misty, and he has a new album, Fear Fun, out, and we're enjoying it at KUT. And I know you got a lot of things to do before you hit the stage, but
I
could
gotta
we?
eat an elephant ear. I have to go.
You got to do more of these radio interviews, is what
I
I'm
gotta
guessing.
do some radio
Yeah, right.
interviews.
How about one more song? Can we get one?
You got it.
Thanks, man. It's Josh Tillman. We're backstage at ACL Fest 2012.
I ran down the road, pants down to my knees, screaming, please come help me. That Canadian shaman gave a little too much to me. I'm writing a novel. Congratulations. Why? Because it's never been done before. Oh, the first house that I saw, I wrote house up on the door, Lord, and told the people who lived there they had to get out, 'cause my reality is realer than yours. There's no time in the present. Duh. Oh, and there's a black dog on the bed. So I went to the backyard naturally to burn my only clothes. Oh, and the dog ran out and said, you can't turn nothing into nothingness with me no more. Well, I'm no doctor. Oh, but then my monkey might be right. Oh, and if he is, I'll be walking in my whole life. Oh, 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 oh. I rode to Malibu on a dune buggy with Neil. He said, you're gonna have to drown me down on the beach if you ever wanna write for real. And I said, I'd love to. Oh, but young man, what was your name again? Now everywhere I go in West Hollywood, It's filled with people pretending they don't see the actress, and the actress wishing that they could. We could do ayahuasca or whatever. Oh, but baby, if I wasn't holding all these drinks, now something about the way Violet whips her hair, oh, still makes me empty my pockets, holding court in the corner, burning 20s as if I was the mayor. I don't need any new friends, 'cause I'm the mayor. Oh, but mama, I could really use something to do. Yeah, so if you're up for it sometime, I swear you wouldn't have to be my muse. Heidegger and Sartre, drinking poppy tea. Oh, I could have sworn last night I passed out in my van, and now these guys are pouring one for me. I never leave the canyon. Oh, 'cause I'm surrounded on all sides. Yeah, but people writing novels, living on amusement rides. Yeah, but people writing novels and living lives that look like mine.
All right. Joshua Tillman, thank you so much for stopping by. We
My
really
pleasure.
do
Let's
appreciate
shake hands over the radio.
it. Really nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thanks, dude.
Fear Fun is the name of the new album, and we are backstage, KUT Live at ACL Fest 2012.